Welcome back to my 5 favorite people. Hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing, and we have a lot of things to go over. So in today's video, I want to go over the reason why I invest in high income ETFs like ULTY and YMAX over just investing in real estate. If you guys like content like this, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. But no more talking, let's go ahead and jump straight into it because it's going to be a pretty long video. So I hope you guys are ready. Go ahead and share my screen and get out of your face. Sweet. Okay, so here's like my little video script. We're gonna pretty much stay on this screen most of the video, but like I said, this is the reason why I invest in high income ETFs like ULTY and YMAX. I'll tell you guys, I am, a younger kid. I'm like on the younger side. I'm not gonna tell my age or anything like that, but I am not hating on real estate. I don't want you guys to get the idea that I'm saying real estate is a bad investment vehicle. It's not a really good passive income vehicle. I love real estate, and I'm going to also say I don't even own a single real estate property, so there's nothing against real estate. I just simply have not gotten into real estate. This is my personal opinion why I invest into the stock market over the real estate at the current moment. Now, the first one I'm going to start off with, and I know a lot of you guys are going to probably harp on this one, but you guys have to hear me on this one. The buying power with using any type of brokerage account, for example, Robinhood, E-Trade, whatever you guys have, using margin. Now, the way it works is whatever you guys put in $1, you guys are going to get 4 times the amount of buying power. For example, if I put $10 in my brokerage account right now, my Robinhood account, I'm going to get $40 to use for value. Meaning also, if I put $100 in, I'm going to get $400. If I put $100,000, I'm going to get $400,000. So the actual buying power itself is so much more greater when a brokerage account. And I threw this in right here. You can see I said when you invest in ETFs like ULTY and YMAX, you immediately get the access to margin buying power, meaning that you guys control 4 times the amount of capital right away compared to whenever you do a deposit real estate, which you guys also know. Now, you cannot harp on me with this one. This is actually very true. I know some ways you can go get it like an HOA loan, and you can put a little less down, like the 3%, the 5%. But either way, you guys are still putting a big deposit down. Even on like $1 million house, 3% loan is still going to be, a tad bit of expensive, especially for people that are first starting out. They don't have the capital just to do so. That is the first reason why I recommend choosing a margin. Now, I will say a lot of people like to say margin is not a good idea because what do you do if you get a margin call? Now, that is where I go into the fact of talking about the actual indexes that I invest in. A lot of the indexes that I invest in are also tied to the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and overall just the broad market of the top companies in the US. Now, I'm not just investing in just single stocks. I'm not investing into some startup companies using margin. I'm using the actual top companies. So what happens is that I am entrusting that these top companies in our actual economy are going to do well. And if I were to get a margin call, I'm not going to freak out because at the end of the day is that I know exactly what I'm investing in. And if it were to go down, that's going to be a good buying opportunity for me. And the thing is, I don't invest the amount of margin that I do not have my actual bank account. So that way, if I were to have an actual margin call, guess what? I can simply just take the money that I am getting a margin call on and go and pay it. And that's simply what a margin call is. They're going to ask you to pretty much sell some of your shares or pay the actual margin call outright. And if I ever were to get a margin call, I would simply just pay it off because I know exactly what I'm investing in. And I know all these companies, they may have a nice little dip, but over the long term, they're going to go up no matter what. And so, a margin call necessarily is not a bad thing. Now, it does depend on how heavily invested you are. Like I said, I don't invest, I don't have my bank account, so you would not see me taking out $100,000 margin on Robinhood because I simply cannot pay that off at the current moment. I do not have $100,000 laying a bank account. I wish I did, but I do not. But if I did, I probably would invest $100,000, but I would not use the full $400,000 in margin that I get. I would probably use about $20,000, about 20%, because I'd like to have that 30% buffer room. I talked about that in my previous video. I have about a 30% buffer room. I'll actually show you guys my portfolio if this is your first time actually seeing my account. You guys can see right now my portfolio overall sitting at $12,900. But if I were to show you guys my actual margin, you can see it's a little over 30%. So it's not, I don't really like to be above 30%, but it's okay because it's coming toward the end of the month. So I will be paying this actually down to 0 and adding a lot more money into the account. But as you guys can see, this is pretty much how my margin looks. And it kind of explains exactly how I put in a certain amount of money and also get money back to you. So if you guys don't necessarily understand the concept of exactly what I mean whenever I say margin, I will have a video actually up here, and it'll pretty much walk you guys through exactly how I use margin to invest. So on to my second point. Oh, sorry, wrong one. On to my second point. The second reason why I like to invest in high income ETFs instead of investing in real estate is living off of dividends instead of living on market moves. Meaning, if you guys have ever been a day trader or anything like that, if you guys know how it is to invest in simply just day trading, forex trading, crypto trading, you guys make money on daily movers. I know there's a swing trader, so you guys sometimes swing over some weeks or months. The thing is that you guys make your money on the daily moves, like the daily gains. For example, if you don't know what I mean, I'm saying like if I were to go to ULTY and let's just say I was day trading this, you guys make money on whatever you make on today's return right here. You guys can see today's return, I would have made $122. That would have been my total amount for today. Now, meaning whenever you invest into high income ETFs, you guys are making money off of dividends. So instead of going off of the actual total return or today's return, I'm making monies on the dividends of holding the actual income ETF itself. And I pretty much put this right here. I focus on dividend checks coming in weekly rather than stressing over the daily ups and downs of the stock market. The income first approach gives me the peace of mind and consistent cash flow, similar to rent checks in real estate. So exactly how you guys would get a rent check every single month from your tenants paying you guys out, I get the exact same thing paid out weekly. I also have some ETFs that do pay me out monthly. They do have sometimes a lower yield compared to the weekly paying ones because they're a bit more risky. But the thing is that I don't have to worry about actually day trading and having to worry about the fluctuation volatility in the single daily market. I can just put my money into a certain account. Like let's say I put $20,000 to ULTY. I know that I'm going to receive a certain amount of dividends at this date. Like for example, ULTY paid out 9 cents per share. So I will receive 9 cents of $20,000, however many shares that is. That's exactly how much I will receive. So that is one reason why I like to invest in. Now that's not really a knock on real estate because real estate is going to be the exact same way. You guys still live on the passive income of actually getting the money from the tenants, living in there. So that right there is almost like 2-to-1 or 1-to-1 comparison whenever it comes to real estate in the market. Now, this one right here is something that the actual real estate market does not compare to with the stock market, and that is brokerage accounts sync with cards. Now, I necessarily do not use this, but I know that long term, whenever I start getting a lot more bills, maybe, I don't know, whenever I want to buy a new car or something like that, I want to get a new house, you guys simply can get an actual credit or a debit card through your actual brokerage account, and you guys can simply just pay it out through the brokerage account. On top of that, now this is a bit risky. You gotta be careful with this one. You guys can even use margin cash, meaning, you guys know how I am using margin on my actual account to buy stocks. You guys can use margin almost like a loan to go buy things in your actual personal daily life. And you guys can use your card and pay it off just like that. And the best part is the dividends you guys are making from those actual income ETFs are paying down your margin balance. And on top of that, then this is going to tie into my third and fourth point right here. The actual interest rates on these margin's interest rates is so much lower than the actual credit card percentage. For example, I think my interest rate right now, I have 3 credit cards, one at Chase, one at Discover, one at, and then the Apple credit card they have. They're almost a 20%, I have almost a 20% interest rate. Now, I do not carry balances, so I do not get affected with the actual interest rates, but with my margin, I do carry a balance. You guys will see, like I showed you in my account, I have a balance for margin right now. Like I literally, if I were to pull the drop down and show you guys what my actual margin balance is, once it loads here, you guys will see I have a $5,801 balance right now. And that does get carried over. Now it has not been a full month of holding this, but it's exactly what my balance is. Now I'm going to click on down here at the bottom. You guys can see I only have a 5.75% interest rate right now, or 5.5% interest rate right now, which I think is absolutely amazing. And if I wanted, I could probably actually talk this down, maybe less than 5%, but I am completely comfortable right now. I don't even have a huge portfolio. I'm holding a 5.5% interest rate. But the best part is the more money you guys have, because I bet you're looking at this like you only have a $20,000 portfolio. I have $1 million. I have millions of dollars in real estate. Why would I even want to invest? You guys, the more money you have, the less your interest rate is. So you guys can see right here, $50 million plus, you're going to be having a 4.45% interest rate. I know you guys probably look in the 1 million range, a 4.75% interest rate. And also do not forget, you guys can actually talk to somebody to actually get that interest rate buffed down for you guys a little bit. So don't cancel out the fact you guys can also get your interest rate cut down. Now, where I'm also going with this total entire thing is whenever it comes to the actual real estate game. Now, unlike real estate income, which can be delayed by tenants or property managers, as you guys know, if you are dealing with apartments, single family homes, townhouses. If your tenant does not pay that money or whatever, you simply do not have that cash, like that you don't have it. Now with mine, I have the actual margin from the debit cards and credit cards once I do decide to use that, which I think is I think it's amazing in general just to have that. But you also do not want to overuse that because that can definitely affect you horribly. They have it in Robinhood and they have it in E-Trade. There's a lot of different things you guys can use. It really just has an actual debit card. Same thing right here, number 4, lower margin rates versus credit card. Margin rates on a brokerage account are much lower than interest rates on credit cards. This makes borrowing to invest far more affordable, especially compared to the high interest consumer debt. I know a lot of actual humans, just United States citizens, I think 76% of all citizens of the United States live paycheck to paycheck. Meaning, I know you guys probably have debt somewhere. I'm not saying you guys, because the people watching this, you guys are very financial literate, so you guys probably do not have any debt. And if so, it's maybe like a car loan or a mortgage. With that, there's nothing wrong with that. But student loans, just random credit card debt, using Klarna to buy things, the average human has those kinds of debts. And the thing is that is like a 20 to 30% sometimes interest rate compared to a 4.75% interest rate whenever I'm getting 4 times the amount of money that I put in my own money. And like I said, I'm keeping it with a very comfortable range because I'm not putting more than I actually can afford. It's insane. I think that right there is absolutely insane. And that is something that the real estate game could not do. You cannot get money from the money that you do not have without getting an actual loan. So the thing is that if you guys need money, and your tenants are not paying you the money, you have to get out a loan, which that loan is going to be a higher interest rate than what the actual margin would be. So I do love that. And then the last one, this is just to make it all just a recap, and this is just to explain why I'm actually investing in the actual stock market. Nothing compared to real estate, because you guys, I will be investing in real estate. Here within the next 2 to 3 years, I will have a real estate property. I will make a grand video saying, how about my first real estate property? I'll probably make a video saying, this is why real estate is better than investing in the stock market. It is what it is. The last one is the financial and time freedom. Now, I actually have a job where I work from home, so I've been able to get my actual time freedom. I'm not going to say necessarily financial freedom. I do have really great financial freedom. I make great money. I mean, the fact that I can even just sit here and invest anytime I want to, I feel like is great financial freedom. But there's a lot of goals that I have to reach whenever I can actually say to myself that I'm financially free. Now, the time freedom that I'm going for is the more time that you guys know, what is it? TIM, time in the market. The more time you guys have in the market, the more dividends you guys will be having. I know you guys have heard of this thing called a dividend snowball effect. The more you guys are dripping into your account, the more dividends you will get. So over the long term, you guys will be making probably more money than you would make in your actual 9-to-5 job. Now, I know there's some doctors, some surgeons that are probably watching this. You're like, I'm making literally $500,000 a year. I'm not going to get that much in dividends. But you could. But you literally could, because that ties us back into the actual margin. And you guys have that buffer room of the $500K a year salary. So if you work, you're not going to get a margin call. But if you were to get a margin call, you guys will be able to pay that off. But you guys will be making more in actual yearly dividends than you would be making in your full-time job. And with that being said, this is where I mean time freedom. So you do have the time freedom, but you guys don't necessarily have to quit your job. You do not have to quit your job at all. If you like what you're doing, don't quit it. It's just the fact that you guys now have time freedom to go take some trips. You guys could go buy a car. You guys could even have some money to expand your family out. Like, that's where the time freedom comes in. And that's where I'm actually going into. Now, at the current moment, I'm very young. Like I said, I literally just finished college. Actually, I'm still in college. I'm getting my master's degree in marketing. I have an undergraduate degree in finance. So that's where I know a little bit about this stuff. Nothing too crazy. But my thing is that whenever I am ready to extend my family, I am building up my literal huge dividend snowball effect. So whenever I'm ready to start taking those dividends and drip off, guess what? I have a huge nest egg of almost $20,000 a month that's cash flowing me every single month, and it's hitting my account weekly. You guys, it's insane. And I'm not saying that you guys cannot do that from real estate. I'm just saying this is the reason why I am doing it from the stock market, and the main reason why is because of the margin, the amount that you are getting leveraged, and also the actual rates that you guys are getting, so you guys get that faster compounding effect. So lastly, you can see the biggest reason why The biggest reason is freedom. By building income streams from ETFs, I don't rely on a paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. The weekly dividends give me flexibility, stability, and the time freedom to focus on what really matters most and not being tied to a job or a physical property like you would be in real estate. These are the core reasons why I invest into ETFs like ULTY and YMAX instead of real estate investing. For me, the accessibility, cash flow, lower borrowing costs, and time freedom make it a much better path toward financial independence. Now, let me go ahead and close this up so I can finish off the video. That was my little explanation of exactly why I am investing in high income ETFs over real estate. I hope you guys actually enjoyed that video because, you know, it didn't take too long to make. You guys know I don't do any edits or anything like that. I give you guys raw, authentic content. Now, like I also said at the beginning, I am not harping on real estate. I absolutely love real estate. I simply have not just gotten into real estate. And sometimes I wish that I actually had a mentor to teach me some of these things because I've had to learn everything on my own. Like, for example, if I want to learn about income ETFs, which I did, I simply came through and I was watching videos on YouTube. I'm not sure if you guys have seen, I don't even know the guy's name. I think it may be Andrew. I'm not sure exactly. I just know Andrew Pardine or something like that. I just know that he used to interview people and I would see his thumbnails. It would say, this person's making $60,000 a month in dividends. And then I watched one video, then I got another video, then I got another one. I'm just like, what are they doing? Like, I'm literally working so hard just to make this amount of money. Like, they are doing nothing. Like, they wake up, they look at the portfolio, smile, take a nap, and then go to sleep and repeat. And they're retired. I'm just like, I want to live that lifestyle. And you know what I did? I was like, I started. And if you guys don't believe me, literally go all the way back to my account. If you guys, I made my first video 5 weeks ago. My account was sitting at $800. Now it is at $20,000 5 weeks later, you guys. It is a building process. You're not going to go from 0 to 1 million in one week. You have to start somewhere, slowly introduce more money. You have some extra income on the side. Maybe you don't buy that Starbucks coffee. Maybe you don't take the kids to Six Flags. Go take the kids to Six Flags. You use that money, you go invest it, and over time it builds up, and you start seeing that dividend snowball compounding effect. You guys, it takes money to make money. And trust me, I'm in the same process you guys are in. I want my account to grow. I want to try different things. I want to get out of the 9-to-5 rat race, which I have been able and I've been blessed to be able to do. But I want to help you guys also do so. So if you guys like content like this, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me out tremendously to grow my account. But also, the more that you guys like, subscribe, the more that I know that you guys like videos like this, so I can keep making them over and over again. But like I said, I will see you guys here soon, and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you can get more content like this, and turn that bell notification on. See you guys soon.